Hello everyone, and welcome to AmateurCast, where I get in you and your replays to be casted for my entertainment and to hopefully help you improve a little bit as well. Today I will be joined by CT6 Indaend, and we're going to be going into a ZVT. So without further delay, I'm going to let him introduce our first player.
Alright, spawning in the top left corner is the red Zerg. We have the guy with the best name of all time, DamagedOreo.
Yeah, I'm actually very impressed by the name. I've seen a lot of good names in my time, and that's actually probably one of the better ones. In the bottom, we're going to be seeing kekiller, something along those lines. I'm very, very bad with names. For the purpose of this cast, he's probably going to be killer. Just kind of how it is. Let's actually act like we're somewhat prepared here. Anyways, TVZ, what are your opinions on the matchup, Indeed?
First things first. It's a lot easier. Think of my name as 3 words like Indaend. No one ever gets it.
Am I not getting it?
Yeah. No, it's all good though. All right. So for the matchup, I think if Terran goes mech, it's really like Zerg. If Zerg doesn't see Terran going mech and just assumes he's gonna play bio, Terran's got a pretty big advantage up until around 16, 17 minutes. But like if the game is standard and Zerg fends off the Hellions pretty well, I think Zerg's got a pretty decent advantage. Like Mutalisks are really, really strong, and since Zerg players know how to deal with Widow Mines a lot better, even after the buff, I still think it's a little bit Zerg favored, but Terrans can definitely do some cool stuff and win this matchup.
Definitely something to keep in account here is, like you said, the Hellions are going to be prevalent on the map. Hellion openings are just sort of something that you have to deal with as a Zerg player in the matchup. But I do know that the Hellion Hellbat kind of opening has started to become a little bit more popular since the Hellbats got buffed a little bit ago. Actually,
Yeah.
it's probably way old news by now.
Yeah, a lot of Zergs will just start on a Roach Warren, but I think Killer just went gas first, so that really restricts his options. He's either going to do some kind of quick Hellion drop aggression or just a Marine Mine drop. That's not usually prevalent with gas first, so we're probably going to see a Cloak Banshee.
And Banshee can do a lot of pressure against a Zerg player if the Zerg player doesn't really sniff out that it's coming along. You don't have the Spore Crawlers on the field. Queens are pretty good against defending against a Banshee. I think it's when you start getting up into 2 and 3 where they start to really kind of struggle with that, though.
Yeah, and so Zerg did scout that there was a gas first, and we see a reactor, so as far as I know, the reactor usually means that it's a Widow Line drop. But Zerg did take a gas, so he's got early link speed and potentially an early layer, so even if he does go Banshee, I don't know how much damage it will do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be, at the very least, it's either going to be a Hellion push here or a Hellbat drop, and I think it's probably, Widowmine drop. I think that's probably the more likely of the two, but I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be seeing here. Banshees would be super late at this point.
Yeah. If he knew what was going on, I think this would be a lot easier to hold off, but he can't get in there with the Overlord because did he see the reactor?
Let's double check real quick.
No, he didn't. He did not see the reactor. But he did see that there was no Reaper, so he should know that something fishy is going on right about now.
Well, he could be assuming that there is a reactor going for a couple of Marines into a natural expansion, which is something that I've seen a couple of times before. It's not too standard from what I've seen, though.
He saw that his opponent had a gas, so you'd expect a Reaper, but he saw that it was a gas burst timing. So this looks like early Hellions. I'm not sure, though. This build seems a little
Well, definitely as a Zerg player at this point, noticing that gas was taken and the fact that there was not going to be a tech lab on the barracks means that we're probably going to be seeing the Hellion opening. And as a Zerg player, that would be a little bit fishy at this point.
This is not the type of Hellion opening that you usually see. This is a more aggressive Hellion opening centered around attacking early, I think.
Well, back home, we don't have really much more than drones from Damaged. Speed is about 3/4 of the way done, so Hellion timing could very well get a little bit of damage done, if he uses them correctly, of course.
Yeah, and surprised here that Zerg didn't go up to 4 queens and only 3. That's interesting. It's going to delay his group spread a lot. And against a build like this with a lot of Hellions, you're going to be really wanting those queens to hold it off and getting that extra creep spread out. It's very important.
Yeah, no, definitely. Something to point out here, though, from the Zerg player is, like you mentioned earlier on in the cast, and like I'd love to point out, Zerg players are kind of transitioning out of going for very quick third bases, at least until they get the Roach Warren, which is going to come down now, but I feel like it's a little bit late as compared to a lot of other Zergs in the matchup right now.
For me, I like to take my third pretty early, like 5:45. I play greedy and I get my Roach Horn after it. I think that his Roach Horn is very well timed, and since the Terran player dead third on an armory, we can assume that this is going to be one of the Hellbat builds. I mean, assume we know it's a Hellbat build. He's going to be doing a Hellbat push, and he's got 6 Hellbats.
Well,
But
unless he's
I
doing
think
something fishy with Thors.
yeah, I doubt it. And since he's got that Roach Horn down, if he sees us coming, and he did see the Hellions with the Overlord, there is a decent chance that he'll be able to hold this off. So we just have to see if he makes roaches.
Yeah, he's going to be popping out a couple of Zerglings, sending them out across the map to both try to catch up on this army and maybe even get a little bit of information about where they're going. They are going to be completely scouted here. Now, DamagedOreo is going to be able to put out probably a production cycle of Droches and just be perfectly fine from this push.
Yep. But we see only 3 roaches coming out, and Killer has 8 Marines and like a lot of Hellbats. 8 Hellbats. So he at least should be able to cancel this third.
He's going to be going ahead and clearing a little bit of creep away.
Yep. Smart move.
And we're going to be seeing additional Roaches warped out now. But I feel like it's a little bit of a greedier play in the long term.
Yep. Look at this. Look at these Hellbats. They're just shredding these roaches. I think this is a really scary situation for Oreo, and he really needs to just pool his roaches and try not to lose any, because he could very easily lose right here.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm surprised that Killer didn't just straight up go for the third, though. He's just seeing red and going for the kill. And the Hellbats are getting cleaned up. It's only got 2 Hellbats left, 3 Hellbats, 4 Hellbats, wow. It's only got 4 Hellbats left. He's losing the Marines. I think this is going to get cleaned up, but at what cost?
Yeah, well, looking over real quickly at the units lost tab, there were 6 workers. Oh, wait, no workers have been killed yet for the Zerg player off of that fight. So, actually, the Terran player is behind as far as like the economy goes. Looking over the Harvester tab, we have 33 to 29. And off of a push like that, you really don't want to be down in Harvesters.
Yeah. Wow, he killed 6 drones, but that's not enough.
Was I looking at the wrong tab?
Yeah. He killed 6 drones, but I don't think that's enough to justify losing that many units. He did come out ahead. He killed 1,000. He killed 2,000 resources compared to only 1,000 lost. But I don't know. Okay, that Romine hit is going to make this a lot weaker now.
Yeah, the Roaches are going to be coming in, but the big thing, a Terran player, I think, really would have helped him out if he had one tank on the high ground just to make sure he had this extra little bit of defense. He's going to be able to hold this off, but the Zerg player is going to get an equal amount of damage on the SCVs just from them being pulled to help deal with this.
If not more. I mean, he still has a lot of roaches, and Terran's only got a very small amount of units. But we do see another Widow Mine coming out, and he can wall off the ramp. The Natural's been evacuated, and it looks like he's getting a tech lab. So he might be able to just survive if he can hold on for a while. And it looks like he is going into mech. I think that if the mech gets into the late game, he will definitely have an advantage.
Well, something that is going to be in his way of the late game are these Roaches on the low ground. They're going to stop him from taking that natural expansion. And as a mech player, it's very difficult to be able to build really anything without at least 4 geysers.
Yep. Definitely true. And if we see, though, both players have a decent amount of gas. Terran's got 500 and Zerg has 600. I think both players are in a situation that they're comfortable with, especially the Zerg. He has so much gas, but he has like no drones at that third base. And as I say that, 11 pop out.
It looks like the Zerg player is going to fall back. We have the Terran player dropping the natural expansion with, I believe, Hellions, or Hellbats, excuse me. They're going to be able to knock down that Queen, maybe. Oh, yeah. Get the Queen, get the Queen, get the Queen!
This is a really smart. This is a really smart move from the Terran player, in my opinion, because like pulling back all those roaches lets him take his natural and get his tanks into a good position, and he also has the opportunity to do damage with this push. So I think that's a really smart choice. It's a good decision.
And he did pick off a couple of extra workers, not a large amount, but he got the Zerg player to fall back and give himself a little bit of breathing room here. However, that little bit of breath that he just got might just be quickly snuffed out. We have a Spire on the works. In fact, it's just finished up, and that means Moodle's production is going to be starting very shortly here. And on 3 base gas, he can get a lot of mutas out really quickly.
And immediately see 8 mutas go down, and he's only got 1 turret, and it's not his mineral lines. 11 mutas now. If he doesn't see this coming, if he doesn't make a Thor or any more turrets, these mutas could end the game right here now.
Or it looks like we're going to be seeing Killer gear up to take an attack off of this, which I don't... Yeah, he doesn't have scouting on the Spire. He really hasn't gotten any scouting of the tech of his opponent really at all, so he doesn't know what he's going up against. I'm not sure that going in violently for this attack is the smartest idea for him.
Yeah, I definitely don't know if this is a good attack, but DamagedOreo doesn't have Overseer speed yet, so these mines are going to be an issue for at least the next 40 seconds or so, until that finishes up.
Yeah, no, definitely. The Widow Mines are going to be able to pretty much be the only anti-air in this army, which is one of the things that is the biggest problem against mech in the early game, because Thors are just so expensive to be able to get out in very large supply very quickly.
Yep. And he's trying to clean up these Widow Mines, and Terran players falling back, but ultimately, Terran has bought himself time. So now he can get the missile turrets up, start the Thors, get a third base. All the stuff you need to be able to hold off this Zerg aggression. I am surprised that Zerg doesn't have a fourth yet, though.
Well, looking over really quickly at the Harvester tab, I noticed that the natural expansion from Killer looks a bit sparse. We have 65 to 38 Harvesters right now. The Zerg player is in a very comfortable position as far as his drones and economy goes. I still wouldn't mind to see a fourth base and drones being set there, if not just for the larva as well as the extra income.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Terran just seems unprepared for this attack. His tanks aren't sieged, his Thors aren't out yet. Unless he gets a miracle, I think that this attack might be really strong against him.
Miracle like the Widow Mine in the front, perhaps. Maybe the Needless will fly right on over there. I would imagine that would be an extremely embarrassing position to be in.
But 2 Thors came out, and he's got turrets. The Mutalisks, they do not have any upgrades yet. No +1 attack. So these turrets are actually going to be a pretty scary thing to deal with. And the Mutas are clumped, and the Thors are moving in. The big shots are going to come out if he keeps clumped like that. And it's hard to push into the natural. There's 7 or 8 tanks sieged there. So this is an interesting position for Zerg. He's probably just going to fall back and take it forth and go up to Hive, in my opinion.
Yeah, we have a fourth base already on the way. I don't believe there's even an infestation pit on the map right now, which is a little bit unfortunate. Love to see that go down, and like you said, move up into Hive Tech fairly shortly here. But as far as the Zerg player knows, he's in an actually pretty comfortable position on the tech that he's at, and he doesn't really necessarily need to tech switch up into something like Ultralist off of the Hive.
And he moves in, he he morphed 16 Banelings, and he's going in for the kill. These Mutalisks are really clumped up, and these Thors are doing an insane amount of damage, but I don't think it's enough. There's just a lot of Zerg here. There's not a lot of Terran.
Well, yeah, and the Terran is going to be pushed back up in the main base once again. Even if he's able to hold on to this by some miracle, it's the old caster's little phrase there, but at what cost? He's going to take a massive amount of economic damage, as well as the fact that he's going to once again lose his natural expansion. So that's going to be delayed again.
Right. Honestly, I don't know if this is a winnable position for Terran. Zerg can just fall back, go up to Hive, macro it out. Terran lost his natural command center, so he's still on 2 bases. He's only got 3 factories. I just don't know if he has enough money to really win this game. A drop's going out, but Zerg saw it and is reacting. This seems like a very strong position for DamagedOreo.
You know, drop play is going to be heading on straight to that third base. They're going to be dropping down right into those watchful roaches, which are going to immediately burst fire them down with the acid of death. Command center is going to be dropped back down on the natural expansion, and at least, if anything can be said for this Terran player, at least he's able to buy himself a little bit of time here and there. But at the end, I'm not sure if it's even going to be enough.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any way for him to hold off this last push. Zerg is max, and he has no tanks. I think this is just, this might be it. Well, that's a lot of roaches.
3 tanks are on their way. They might be able to help out, but it's either the roaches or the Mutalisks that are going to be the problem. It's kind of a pick your poison sort of situation.
Yeah. The tanks are going down. 1 tank is sieged. That's a lot of roaches. Attacking the Hellbats. Hellbats are gone. Only 3 Thors in a tank. I think that the Zerg player's done it.
You know, this definitely is going to, at the very least, snipe all of these units over here. And there goes the GG from Killer. So, as is our custom here on the show, now we are going to take a thing we think that each player could improve upon. And as always, we're going to start with the loser or the Terran player. And I'm going to let you take this one. What do you think the Terran player could have done better in his next game or future games?
I think with the Hellbat push, he should have attacked the third, tried to get the cancel. He should have seen the Spire, whether it was with a drop or a scan. He should have known the Spire was on the way. Zerg players really like Mutalisks. I'm a Zerg player. Mutalisks are beautiful. Best unit ever. So he just needs to be more prepared for what his opponent throws at him, because ultimately I think he would have won that game had he known what he was up against. But he was playing Dark a lot, and so playing Mech is a lot about knowing what is going on, and he moved out, lost his army, lost time, and a lot of times he just was unprepared for things. So I think that if he had ultimately just done those things, he would have been a lot better.
Yeah, right. And as any player, really, not just mech players, it is very good to know what your opponent is doing. StarCraft is a game based upon information, knowing what your opponent is doing to the best of your abilities at any one time. And Killer, if you look at his vision, he has not scouted any tech of his opponent. And the Mutal Switch just killed him at the end of the day. On the Zerg side of things, I think that the fourth base was delayed. I believe he had pretty decent harvester spread. Was definitely getting a little bit better on that as the fourth base was coming up. Bank is definitely a problem. It's a problem a lot of the Zerg players deal with, especially when you're getting towards that maxed out area and you're pushing out and you really can't spend it on anything else unless you want to drop down a whole bunch of macro hatcheries. But I definitely think that as far as the Zerg player is concerned, either the bank or possibly even maybe the composition. I don't know if Roach Muta is a thing or not in higher leagues. I haven't seen it a whole lot.
It's really, you're only going to have that kind of composition if you're playing a really weird game. Like, that game was pretty out of the ordinary, and so, like, that was just kind of reactive comp. But in general, it'll be like Roach Hydra or Hydra Muta.
I believe Bangling Muta Ling is the go-to in TVP or ZVT.
Yeah, against Bio.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going into account of mech.
Yeah.
Mech is... What is mech again?
Mech is wrong, and it's something that no one should ever do.
I think it's actually kind of fun when I also versus Terran. But alright guys, that's going to be it. You don't have a YouTube channel or anything that you do anything on, do you?
I occasionally will stream some ladder, but not really, no. It's just twitch.tv and then my name, so.
Right, so we'll be putting his Twitch in the description down below. Go check him out. He'll stream probably sometime in the future. You can go follow him as he was so graciously willing to help me out here tonight. Besides that, folks, just the normal stuff. If you would like to get a replay casted of your own, please send that over to ZookaMan900@gmail.com. That will be in the description below, as well as if you would like to get another game casted, you can also send that over to Reddit Cast It, which is a nice little subreddit where I mostly pull most of my replays. This one wasn't. This one came just from GG Tracker. But if you want to get game casted there, either I will do it or a horde of other casters will. It'll get casted at the end of the day. And so, alright guys, once again, thanks to... I'm going to murder this, and I very much apologize, Indaend, for joining us tonight. And this has been ZookaMan, and we'll see you guys on the next cast.